there. Down low on O'Neal. Caught O'Neal kind of lunging out of the goal. Beautiful shot by Marechek. Philadelphia strikes early. This is Cataldo for Boston, and he's ambushed by two Philadelphia players. Here's Cataldo, and now Boston will look to substitute. Boston is a team that has a specific defensive line and then two other offensive lines. This is when their offensive line. Frazier winds it up. Elliott with an easy save. Philadelphia now up 1-0. We're a minute into this contest. This is Jim Rogers. This is the Gate, Govett, Marechek line. Really look for Gate to do most of the damage here. Nice defense by Dave Donovan of Boston. He's got a loose ball behind the net. O'Neal is attempting to swat at it. Shot clock now down to 6 seconds. Vicious check by Govett. And here's Gate now controlling. And the shot clock expires. So superior defense on the part of the Boston Blazers now. They'll turn it over. This is Tom Carmine flipping off to Ted Dowling, number 19 on the near side. Dowling's got 15 goals. He leads the league. To Chanenchuk, the 7-year veteran out of Johns Hopkins. Chanenchuk, an extremely smart player. This line likes to set up Dowling. Here's Bobsfeld, one-on-one. Elliott with a shoulder save, deflected it above the goal. A little miscommunication that time by Philadelphia, leaving Felt alone. Here's Felt again. Across the face of the goal, and Marechek scoops up the loose ball. Marechek, Chanenchuk doing a nice job forechecking out front. Here's Felt again. He'll wind it up. Wide. A lot of action early on. We expected a low-scoring game. Seems to be a bit frantic. This is tapped, and he's decked into the boards by Gary Gate. Controlled by Govett. Govett one-on-one. Nice check. Adele for Boston at the last second dove to dislodge the ball out of Govett's stick. Take a listen. That's G.T. Corrigan, the assistant coach for Philadelphia. Boston now on the attack. This is Donovan near side. He's covered by Flynn. Up top to Carmine. Carmine, extremely quick. He's got a tremendous first step. Here he is, right-handed. Two fakes. Elliott stands his ground, plays his angles well, and controls the loose rebound. Look for Philadelphia to run and gun tonight. They want to keep these Boston offensive lines on the field to play defense, and that time they were successful. Here's Martin, and Martin with a goal from the outside. Gary Martin, not known for his offensive prowess, but that time he stung Marty O'Neal between the legs. And we've got a timeout here. 3 minutes into the game. Here's Martin catapulting Philadelphia to a 2-0 lead. Tonight's Major Indoor Lacrosse League Game of the Week on ESPN2 features the Philadelphia Wings against the Boston Blazers. Brought to you by Bud Light, the best-selling light beer in America. By Ryan Lacrosse Equipment, the first name in lacrosse equipment and apparel. And by Millman Licensed Apparel. Just call 913-384-8960 for your brochure.
A reminder to
welcome back to the Boston Garden. My name is Quinn Kasnick. You're watching the Philadelphia Wings against the Boston Blazers on ESPN2. These two teams are the best two teams in the league, and there's no surprise. They're led by the leading goal scorer in the league, Ted Dowling, and Gary Gate. Unstoppable at the midfield position for the Philadelphia Wings. Tom Carmine, a playmaker extraordinaire. He's got extreme quickness. He can penetrate both right-handed and left-handed for the Boston Blazers. Movers and shakers, Tom Marechek, we saw earlier, a beautiful behind-the-back goal. He's a master of deception. He's got as many fakes as you need, and he can finish the ball from in close. Let's move back to live action now with the score 2-0. Philadelphia jumping on top here, really silencing the crowd. This is Chris Flynn and Talmo doing battle, controlled by Nostrand, and Philadelphia looks to extend their lead. Here's Nostrand. Predominantly a left-handed player, near side for Flynn. Flynn, beautiful pick by Martin. Flynn, one-on-one. And O'Neal makes a crucial save. O'Neal appeared shaky early on, but stuffing Flynn from close range will do wonders for his confidence. by Talmo along the far side, and actually they're going to whistle that as a push.
Illegal push.
The fans not happy with that, and they'll turn the ball over to Philadelphia.
Tom Frazier called the timeout early. He had the troops here on the side. He didn't really give any strategy. He just said, I want to see the best of you. He was trying to get them to regroup and put them back out there again. Back to you, Quinn.
Thanks, Steve. Philadelphia now up by 2, controlling. This is Finneran, the left-hander. He's hatcheted by Talmo and shoots the ball wide now. Nice hustle on the part of Boston. Here's Bates. Drinking in, and he scores! Chris Bates. Chris Bates had a big goal 2 weeks ago against the Nighthawks, and he scores now, putting Philadelphia up 3-0. Bates. Watch this shot now, one-on-one with O'Neal, and he just tucks it above Marty O'Neal's shoulder. Perfect accuracy on that shot. Bates not known for his scoring. He's really a gritty grinder type player, role player. But for him to get a goal here really increases Philadelphia's chances now. Here's McAvoy off the faceoff to Finneran. And Philadelphia will slow it down. Everything going their way. They're hustling on the loose ball, and they're converting on their shot opportunities. Billy Miller winds it up from long range. Miller flailing at the ball, controlled by Cap. Here's Boston, 3-on-1. Cap, sweep saved by Elliott. He robbed Dowling. Take a look at Dowling. You don't see him miss too many of those one-on-one opportunities, but Elliott kept his stick low to the turf and swept that one wide. Tony Resch, Philadelphia head coach in his 2nd season. Last year, he took him to the title. This is Ryan, number 17, with the ball up top. He's covered by Finneran.
Ryan.
He gives it up to Dowling. Dowling, the left-hander, streaks in alone. Saved by Elliott. Rebound controlled by Finneran temporarily. Ryan steals it. And Volker with a vicious check. Dowling behind the net, near side. Frazier. Weak angle shot there, deflected wide by Elliott, and we've got a scrum behind the net. Christie is standing by behind the Philadelphia bench with Chris Bates. Christie.
That's right, Quinn. Joining me, Chris Bates, who just scored another goal for your Philadelphia Wings. Are you surprised, Chris, at Marty O'Neal's weak start?
No, I think it's London about coming out and getting ground balls. He's made a few good saves already, but we get the rebounds and we're all over it. And it's just hustle at this point. That's what's helping us right now.
Great. Thank you very much, Chris Bates. Back to you, Quinn.
Well, off the loose ball, Marty O'Neal was interfered with, and now Boston down by 3 goals. 9:18 left in the first quarter. They're predominantly a second-half team. This is Cap now dodging right-handed. Stuffed by Elliott. Cap, a rookie out of Whittier, which is in Los Angeles.
Withholding the ball from
Philadelphia is going to be whistled for withholding the ball. This is Felt up top now, controlling to Chanenchuk, who's the quarterback of this unit. Some nice balance here. This is Blanchard to Carmine. A lot of experience. Blanchard, 6 years. Carmine, 5 years. There's Carmine. Watch his quickness. He's extremely tough to cover. Bounce shot wide. Carmine's so tough to cover because he can go right-handed or left-handed. He really puts you at a disadvantage defensively. Here's Maricek. To Gabrielson in front, off the pipe. Gabrielson, the ball trickles in. Gabrielson's shot hit the pipe, and then it trickled in. Philadelphia now up 4-0. O'Neal is just absolutely stunned. Take a look at the initial shot. It'll hit the pipe, and then the ball either hits, it deflects in off of Stevens. So Philadelphia now up 4-0 on that goal by Scott Gabriel. We'll be back from the Garden.
Boston University takes on Boston College in this 43rd annual Bean Pot Championship. That's tomorrow night. Back to live action here at the Boston Garden with
Here we are, Boston now controlling the crucial faceoff. They've got to do something to get something going offensively. They're down by 4 goals, and we're halfway through the first quarter. They're known for their late comebacks, and they'll need one, down by 4 so far. This is Donovan dodging against Flynn. Flynn, a tenacious defensive player, actually played football at Penn. Inside, this is Blanchard. Elliott again with the save. Elliott's been perfect thus far in Philadelphia. He's got a 2-on-1 if Flynn can beat Donovan, and he does it. Nice hustle by Donovan. But Boston does not get to sub their defensive line on. So now watch Philadelphia. They'll try to make these offensive specialists play defense. This is one of the keys to the game. Here's McAvoy. Quickness, and he dodges past Carmine, and we've got a whistle for a violation. Got an illegal pick.
Laser ball.
Grab the stick right here on the pick. Reset with a green on the goalie. Let it go to the keeper.
Roy Condon, tonight's official. You heard it firsthand. And here's Ted Dowling now, looking to get Boston's first goal. Dowling inside to Tap. Here's Tap. It's extremely strong. Tap from close range. Nice job done inside by Gary Martin of Philadelphia. And Bob Felt can't handle the feed. Marty O'Neill will have to come out. The shot clock is down to 7 seconds. Boston just heaving the ball the length of the floor. And Philadelphia is going to be whistled for a holding violation. So really not a smart play there by Govett. So you take a look at Tony Resch. He's got to be happy with the way this Philadelphia squad has started. 7 minutes to go here in the first quarter. This is Blanchard, 6-year veteran out of Ohio Wesleyan, left-handed, pass in front. Ryan, a nice control, another pass in front to Donovan, and felt Ryan probably should have shot that ball. Here's Volker just being dragged down by Blanchard. Loose ball. They reset the shot clock as Randy Frazier, son of Boston coach Ron Frazier, controlled for Boston. So Boston now doing a better job controlling the ball. The question is, can they score a goal here against Elliott, who seems extremely sharp? This is Volker along the far side, going to be whistled. Delayed call coming up against Philadelphia. Volker's going to be whistled. This is Frazier. You'll see 6 players yelling. You'll see Boston just put a 6th player on. We're going to have some kind of violation against Volker, number 6. The defensive specialist. We're back at the Boston Garden. Philadelphia 4, Boston 0 in the first quarter. 6:17 left. My name's Quint Kesnick. I'm joined by Christy Lee and Steve Buckley. Boston now with a power play. Volker just dumping the Boston Blader attackman. It's a 2-minute violation. This is a great opportunity for Boston to get on the board. They direly need a goal. This is Blanchard, the lefty, to Frazier. Carmine can't control. Sloppy passing. Here's Adele. Near side to Dowling. Deflects off the top of the sticks. Controlled by McAvoy for Philadelphia. He'll just try to kill some time here on the foul. McAvoy taken down by Dowling. No call. Now we're going to have a call. That's going to be a loose ball push against Dowling. Actually, it's going to be a loose ball push against McAvoy. So Dowling taking McAvoy down, but the foul goes against McAvoy. Excuse me, against McAvoy. The power play continues. Boston's got 5 attackers versus 4 defenders for Philadelphia. This is Carmine to Blanchard. Frazier on a cut. Can't handle the pass, and he's dumped into the boards. That's going to be a loose ball push against Miller. They'll reset the shot clock. Carmine, he'll wind it up to give him the chance. This is Frazier. Adele back to Carmine. Blanchard, he hit the crossbar. Blanchard hit the crossbar. And Marty O'Neill now gives the ball up. Take a look at Blanchard right there. He was robbed by the pipe from close range, goalie's best friend. Here's Carmine to Blanchard. Little face dodge by Carmine. Nice look to Dowling. Tommy Carmine feeding Dowling. And that puts Boston up on the board. They were shut out for the first 10 minutes. Dallas Elliott had done a fine job. Watch it again. Watch the move right there by Carmine. Draws the double team, and Dowling puts himself in a perfect position. He's an opportunist. You give him an inch, and he'll score. That's his 16th goal this season to the near side. Elliott just a second late. And the score is 4-1 now, with 4:40 left to go here in the first quarter. Face-off action controlled by Gate. He's double teamed by Talmo. Talmo will be whistled for the technical. That's a loose ball hold, so Philadelphia will control. This is Gate. The big lefty, one-handed behind the back shot. O'Neal held his ground. We've got some stick work, and we're going to have a foul. Sebastian, he's down. I think he'll win the Academy Award for that one. Maricek barely hit him in the head, but he went down drawing the foul. A smart play by Sebastian. Maricek can't lose his cool. Watch it again now. You'll see Maricek 42 and 11. They'll exchange some pleasantries right there. And that second hit, you can see the delayed reaction by Sebastian. Obviously, he's not in that kind of pain. And Roy Condon makes the call. That's going to be a 5-minute violation. Actually, up on the board now, they're saying it's going to be a 2-minute violation against Tom Maricek. And we'll be back as Boston will have another power play opportunity, trailing 4-1 here from the Boston Garden.
The Blazers, Jack Sebastian. Jack, what happened out there?
Well, we're trying to pick up the aggressiveness a little bit. Feel like they're beating us to the ball, so I was just checking hard. He didn't take too kindly to it and gave me a smack back in the face and took the 2-minute penalty, I guess.
What are you guys going to do to score some goals?
Well, I think we got to first pick up some ground balls and get more aggressive defensively. If you look at them, they're beating us up defensively, and we need to do more of that.
Okay, great. Back to you, Quint.
Back to live action here at the Garden. Nice defense by Philadelphia. They're killing a power play. There's 1:41 left on Tom Maricek's slashing call. And they'll try to kill some time. This is Miller. He's got outstanding speed. He's hounded by Dowling, who de-sticked Miller. You need a bungee cord on that one, Billy. Here's Denikin to Gary Gate. Cataldo with a nice defensive effort right there. We've got 1:20 left on the power play. This is Talmo. He'll give it up and substitute for the power play team. Here's Carmine. You want to focus right now, number 45. He's got the ball. He's the playmaker. Keep an eye on Dowling on the near side, number 19. He's the finisher, or Randy Frazier, who's got the ball right there. He's an outstanding shooter. This is Blanchard. Elliott with a beautiful shoulder save. Rebound now, a little scrum in front. Flynn doing a wonderful job. Pick up the loose ball. Flynn taken down by Carmine. And Boston has 45 seconds left on the power play. So this is Frazier, the right-handed shooter. He's having his best season in the Mill. He's a late bloomer, played at Springfield. Not really a hotbed of college lacrosse, but he's one of the outstanding players on this Blazer squad. This is Blanchard. Winds it up. Elliott gets a piece of it, and actually it's stuck in Elliott's equipment. So Philadelphia will control. Elliott appears very sharp early here tonight. 2:48 left in the first quarter. 4-1 Philadelphia, and Gary Gate is just pummeled to the turf by Blanchard. And you know that is going to be a tripping violation against Blanchard. Shots on goal, Boston 14-8 now. They've really benefited from those power play opportunities, but now Philadelphia is going to go on a power play for themselves. Gate being taken down by Blanchard right there. And you know it's quite a trip if you're going to trip up Gary Gate, because Gary has got some good size, 6'2", 205. We're all even right now, 4-on-4, and in 13 seconds, Philadelphia will go on the power play. This is Gate being covered by Cataldo. Cataldo last season was an assistant coach here for Boston. He blew out his knee, took a year off, and now he's back in his 6th season. Maricek out of the box. Philadelphia's got the power play. This is Gate to Nostrand. He lights it up. Rebound by Maricek. Gate beats O'Neal. Gary Gate with a laser shot to the near side. Beats Marty O'Neal. Philadelphia 5, Boston 1. Watch it again. O'Neal, this is his weakness, off to his foot side. You don't want to shoot between his legs. You want to put it off his heels. And Gary Gate showing you why. He's a 4-time All-Pro selection right there. Laser accuracy. There's no way that Marty O'Neal's going to make that save.
Philadelphia goal scored by number 22, Gary.
Illegal procedure by Philadelphia. Excuse me, by Boston. Philadelphia control. Teams are back at even strength. 1:41 to go here in the first quarter. It's been all Philadelphia. Here's Nostrand. Winding it up from the outside. We've got a whistle, a moving pick. And Boston controls. Christie's got Gary Gait.
A great goal for you, Gary Gait. Are you surprised at the quickness of this offense so far?
Oh, it's a great game. I think you got two teams out here with great athletes who can run up and down.
What's the key to winning this game?
The loose balls, no question. I think we're both out there hungry for them.
We have a score for Boston, Clint.
Charlie Blanchard, left-handed drive. Poor defense by Philadelphia. They don't pick him up. You can't blame Elliott for that. Take a look at it. Here's Blanchard all alone directly in front of the goal. Puts it between the legs. That's a 5-hole shot. And Boston is back in it. Charlie Blanchard, 8th goal of the season. He's really an important player for Boston. We know Dowling can score. We know Frazier and Carmine. But if Blanchard has a good night, you better watch out. 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. Here's Talmo controlling the faceoff. Ball dislodged nicely by Miller and Finneran. Steve Buckley is standing by right now with Charlie Blanchard.
Chow, are you surprised to be wide open like that up front?
Oh, not really. The guy was overplaying me up top. Thought I was going right. I happened to get a step on him rolling back. There was no slide. They're playing tight man-to-man off the ball.
Okay, back upstairs.
And the offensive explosion continues. Gary Gait, who grew up near Marty O'Neill in Victoria, British Columbia, streaking left-handed, puts it over his shoulder. So Gait beat him low, and now he beat him high. Gary is on top of his game. That's his 2nd goal and his 16th of the season. 38 seconds to go here in the first quarter. We expected a low-scoring game, and yet the score is 6-2. It's been all offense for Philadelphia.
Philadelphia goal scored by number 22.
Here's a scrum on the near side, controlled by Maricek. Across the floor, behind the back. Gary Gait. Not only is he a good player, but he's a showman. Behind the back pass, and Rogers couldn't control. Loose ball. Take a look. 19 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Boston will look for the last shot of the quarter. We've got a whistle. Boston will get the ball. Listen to Roy Condon. The clock didn't start. Boston will have possession here at mid-floor. This is Shannonchuk. They want to free up Dowling, their leading scorer. That was a pass. Solid defense by Maricek. And here's Philadelphia now with 8 seconds to go, looking for a last shot. This is Rogers. Far side to Govett. And O'Neill with a nice save. And that'll do it. And that'll do it here in the first quarter, where the score is Philadelphia 6, Boston 2. We'll be back with second quarter action.
Boston Blazers.
Stay out of the box. Make them play us 5-on-5. It is our game. Offensively, let's remember.
Well, you can hear Tony Resch talking about staying out of the box, and the box he's talking about is the penalty box. Philadelphia really controlled the tempo there in the first quarter. Take a listen now to the other bench. That's Ron Frazier. Actually, the team is just talking among themselves. The unflappable Ron Frazier, and we're back to the Philadelphia bench. They've got to be happy leading 6-2. But earlier, you can hear Tony Resch saying, let's stay out of the penalty box. And minus those 2 long penalties that they had, Philadelphia really controlled this game from all phases. Marty O'Neill, 6 first-quarter goals. Still a lot of lacrosse to play, however. We're set to face it off. Boston now. Take a look at the stats. Shots, Boston with a 4-shot advantage. Face-offs about even. And here's the face-off. It's Flynn and Talmo doing battle. Controlled by Flynn. This is Volker. Predominantly a defensive specialist. He gives it up for Nostrand. Far side, Flynn. O'Neill with an easy save. And now Boston looks for a little transition. We haven't seen much transition out of the Boston Blazers. This is Donovan. Gives it up to Frazier. Quick passing by the Blazers. Here's Carmine. Carmine Exceptional quickness by Tommy Carmine. He frees up his left hand, comes in, switches to his right, and Elliott with an acrobatic save, robbing Carmine from close range. And he controls his rebound.
A decidedly different posture by Ron Frazier after the first quarter. He was very upset with his troops, whereas first speech he was very, oh, let's go get them, let's be this, let's be that. This time he said there's a lot of attitude out there, there's a lot of quitters out there. Very, very upset. He clearly read them the riot act that time.
Well, let's see if Coach Frazier's riot act affects the Boston Blazers here in the second quarter. They're down by 4 goals. This is Finneran, the lefty, sidearm shot. O'Neal had his radar on that shot all the way. When you lower your stick like that, you make it an easy save for the goaltender. Now we see substitutions again by Boston. They sacrifice the transition game, but they love that two-door philosophy. They have defense in one door and offense out the other door. This is Rodney Tapp. He gives it up to Adell, who hit the post of the ball, went wide. A nice little two-man pick there between Adell and Tapp, and now we've got a loose ball. Controlled by Philadelphia. The Wings are doing an outstanding job controlling the loose ground balls. This is Miller. Right to left move. Here's Miller behind the net. Looks in front. There are no cutters. Nice roll dodge. O'Neal made the save, and the rebound almost trickled in. So Miller with a sweet little roll dodge there along the goal line, but O'Neal held his ground. 6-2. We're 12:45 to go in the second quarter from the Boston Garden. Charlie Blanchard gives it up for Donovan. Donovan left-handed. He had Elliott beat, but missed the net. Here's Finneran now. Finneran's got good speed. He's got a 2-on-2 with Bates and decides to slow it down. Here's Gary Gait. He's got 2 goals behind the back to Maricek, his former teammate at Syracuse. An errant pass now controlled off the stick of Dave Donovan. So Gary Gait with some intense forechecking there. And Philadelphia will control, reset the shot clock. This is Steve Govett and Gary Gait. Now watch Govett. He loves to set picks for Gary Gait. That's his role. And he's going to be called for the hold. Steve Govett, number 44 for Philadelphia. His primary role is to set picks for Gary Gait. They're both extremely big players. That time called for a hold. Here's Boston now, looking for their 3rd goal. This is Frazier. Little pick action, feed in front. Nice save by Elliott, and he is sharp. Here's a feed down again. Gates got a breakaway. 1-on-1, Gary Gait, and he beats O'Neal. Gary Gait on the feed from Tom Maricek. 7-2, it's been all Philadelphia. Tremendous look on the part of Tom Maricek. There it is, and Gait streaking in all alone, 1-on-1. No fake. I think O'Neal was expecting the fake, and he beat him. 7-2, 11:46 to go here in the second quarter, and Gary Gait has got a hat trick already. Back at the Boston Garden, Philadelphia the Wings up by 5 goals early here in the second quarter. Gary Gait with 3 of those 7 goals. He's on pace for a monumental night. Last season, when these two teams played, the final score was 16-10 in favor of Philadelphia, and Gary's brother Paul had 10 goals. That's a mill record. In action off the face-off, controlled by Philadelphia. We had a technical violation. Take a listen. Take a listen to Roy Condon.
All right, we'll reset. Start it there in the red. All right, he's got a green push. He pointed the wrong direction. He's got a green push. All right, and we're resetting it. All right, everybody's all set. It's a green push. It's a gray. Wake up, guys. Everybody stop.
Well, you can hear it firsthand. Green push. Philadelphia ball. This is Paul O'Grady starting in his 2nd game of the season. He didn't play the first 2 games. He's played in the last 2 games. He's a large player, left-hander. This is Gary Martin. Nice defense by Glenn Stevens, and Cataldo controls for Boston. So the defensive specialist line of Stevens, Cataldo, Talmo, they do a fine job. And now we've got substitutions. This is Chanenchuk for Boston. Far side to Felt. Felt looks inside. Nice pick. Here's Felt. He hit the pipe. That's the third post shot for Boston. Philadelphia now quick to get the ball up the floor. They want to keep these offensive players on to play defense. Here's O'Grady in front. McAvoy loses his footing, regains it. He's covered by Felt. McAvoy's got a lot of quickness. You got to watch him. And he scores! John McAvoy, quick change of direction behind the net. And Marty O'Neill is stunned. 8-2. Watch it again. McAvoy, really known for his quickness. Turns the corner, stops on a dime right there, and bounces the ball between the legs of O'Neill. O'Neill generally is very strong between the legs. Here's McAvoy, 4th goal of the season. He is having his best season in the mill. And we've got a timeout now called by the unflappable Ron Fraser, whose team is surprisingly trailing by 6 goals here with 10:28 to go. We'll be back to the Boston Garden after this. That's Marty O'Neill. He's taken off his headgear. He's been taken out. And Brian Vona now is going to enter the nets for the Boston Blazers. Shell-shocked Marty O'Neill. And there's Vona. 37% save percentage. Not really what you want to see, but Coach Ron Fraser really has no choice right now. We're in the second quarter. O'Neill's given up 8 goals. He does not appear sharp. He might come back. You never know. A lot of times you'll take your goalie out just to get his wits. And we're back to the live face-off now. This is Gabrielson and Talmo. Philadelphia likes to rotate their face-off men between Flynn and Gabrielson, but Cataldo for Boston, the captain, controls the loose ball.
Now in goal for the Blazers.
This is Talmo.
3, Brian Vona.
Little pass there to Charlie Blanchard. Blanchard still has it. Number 46 on the far side has the ball. Passes down low. This is Donovan, the left-hander out of Duke. Dodging against Miller. Nice little pick play there. And we've got a shot clock violation. Let's go down to Steve Buckley.
Well, the team needed an uplift of some kind. We seem to be a little flat. We're getting beat to the ball a little bit. Maybe they'll rally behind a new goalie.
Okay.
In action off to Vona's left side. Billy Miller was dragged down to the turf. And we're going to have a call coming up. It's going to be a holding violation against Randy Fraser. So Philadelphia will have a power play opportunity for 2 minutes. Miller had gained an advantage and was about to shoot. Fraser basically hopped on his back and dragged him down to the turf. An obvious call.
2 minutes holding.
8-2. Philadelphia leading Boston here in the second quarter. It's been all wings. They look unbeatable right now. This is Gate up top to Maricek. Behind the back, down low to Denikin. Back to Gate. He fires over the net. Controlled by the cagey Chanenchuk, one of the smartest players in the league. Boston now will try to kill some shot clock. They're down a man. Chanenchuk gets it across the timeline to Blanchard. Philadelphia content to let Boston kill some time here in the second quarter, almost halfway through the second quarter. This is Blanchard. He's been on the floor quite a bit already tonight. Shot clock down to 4, winds it up, and Elliott makes the easy scoop save. Outlet pass deflected by Stevens. They don't have the numbers game, and Elliott makes another save. It hit the goalie now, so Philadelphia will control. Reset the shot clock to 30. There's 1:11 left on the penalty to Fraser. So a nice job of penalty killing here for Boston. They've got to take advantage of any positives they can find. This is Blanchard. He's a veteran. He likes to slow things down, and that's perfect for this situation. They've only had 4 players out on the field compared to 5 for Philadelphia. Blanchard now behind the net to Carmine. Carmine left-handed. Elliott with another save. Elliott looking extremely sharp. This is Gate.
Gate on the wing.
Gate now is going to be double teamed by Cataldo. A little fake. Gate looks for help. He can't find any. Just being hatcheted by Cataldo. This is Maricek. Bona, you can see the difference in styles as Bona came out to attack that shot, but his outlet pass is picked off by Gate. And here's Nostrand. 20 seconds left to go on the penalty. Look away feed. Hitter and found Denikin on the backside. And Philadelphia strikes again. 9-2. Nothing Bona could do about that one. And Ron Frazier is stunned. That's Denikin, who parked himself on the far side. Take a look at it. Finneran, little look away to Denikin, and all Denikin had to do was catch it and push the ball in the back of the goal. That's a power play goal, giving Philadelphia their largest lead here. 7 goals, 9-2, and we're halfway through the second quarter. Teams are back at even strength. This is Frazier. He's been quiet thus far. Speed inside. Here's Blanchard. Blanchard with the goal. Boston strikes back. Charlie Blanchard, who's been Mr. Everything for Boston, beats Elliott between the legs, and the Boston fans finally have something to cheer about. Watch it again. Blanchard switching hands right-handed, beating Elliott between the legs. 9-3 now, 7:30 left there. Take a look at it again, between the legs. Nothing Elliott could do there. Sloppy defense by Philadelphia. Here's Denikin now near side to Finneran. Back to Denikin, little give and go. He hit the pipe. Bona in relief duty of Marty O'Neill got lucky on that one.
Goal scored by number 46, Charlie Blanchard.
Let's see if the Boston Blazers can tie back-to-back goals together. Here's Frazier.
Frazier.
Covered by Finneran.
Blanchard. Frazier.
With a quick shot, loose ball. Ryan doing a nice job on the far side, beating Frazier. Elliott with a kick save and a beauty. Loose ball. Finneran tying up Frazier. We've got some fisticuffs. That's Frazier. And Bates. Bates, a grinder, known for his toughness, exchanging pleasantries. And Frazier's looking for a fight. Frazier just decked Finneran from behind.
Let him go! Let him go! Let him go!
The fans chanting, let them go, but Roy Condon will have nothing to do with fighting. Frazier will be escorted off. Let's listen in to Roy Condon as we sort through the semi-fisticuffs. Ron Frazier. Well, while we figure this out, 6:44 to go here at the Boston Garden. 9-3. When we come back, we'll set everything straight for you.
The NFL expansion draft will happen here on ESPN2 Wednesday night, 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific time. Starts out on ESPN Live at noon. The 2 newest teams in the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Carolina Panthers, will take their very first steps toward the success in the NFL. Check it out for yourself. Here at the Boston Garden, I'll tell you what, we've got a penalty mass. And Quick, can you fill us in on what exactly is going on now?
Well, it's kind of confusing. We've got 2 5-minute penalties against Frazier for Boston. And then we have 2 2-minute penalties against Philadelphia, Bates and Finneran. So right now, Boston actually has a 4-on-3 advantage for 2 minutes. And they score. Ted Dowling. Ted Dowling on a feed from Blanchard. 9-4. That will release one of the 2-minute penalties. Take a look. Here's Dowling. That's his favorite spot. He loves to operate on that left-hander shooting spot. That's his second goal. Here he is again, and he is just so potent from close range, beating Elliott to the near side. Second goal of the night. One of the Philadelphia penalties has been released, so these teams will be now 4-on-4 for the next minute and 30 seconds. After that, Philadelphia will have a man-up opportunity for about 7 minutes.
Ted, you guys got to be thinking defense out there after the penalties, and yet you score a goal. What happened?
Well, we had the power play, so we just tried to get the ball around. It just happened that I was open low, so I put it over the shoulder. It was a lucky goal.
Can you guys get back into this game?
Definitely. Like, you can score 10 goals within 5 minutes, so hopefully we can do that, and we'll be back in here, and no problem at all.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Steve Buckley and Christy Lee, our bench reporters. My name is Quinn Kesnick. We're in the second quarter here, 9-4, Philadelphia leading Boston. This is Philadelphia, Tom Marechek. He's scored a spectacular goal to open things up here. This is Gary Gait. He's got a hat trick already. One-handed shovel shot. Gary Gait from out front. One-handed shovel shot. His fourth goal. And Vona's got a little smirk. That's Tony Resch right there. He's got to be happy. Watch it again. Gary Gait, one-handed underhand. This is just absolutely phenomenal right there. That ball was moving, folks. You look at the strength, agility, precision stick work right there. There's no way you can stop that. That is one of the finest goals you will see in the Major Indoor Lacrosse League. 10-4 now, Philadelphia. Gary Gait. He's got 4 goals, equaling the total of the Boston Blazers. Here's Gait now dodging along the left side. Vona. Stick save and a beaut by Vona. And here's Cataldo. To tap, bounce pass, far side, Dowling could not control it. Dowling, the left-hander, 2 goals. He's covered by Marechek. That's a matchup that really favors Boston. You might want to switch up right now if you're Philadelphia. There's Blanchard, saved by Elliott. Shannonchuk now controlling, and the penalty, Chris Bates for Philadelphia is back on the floor. So Boston now has 4 players versus 5 for Philadelphia for the next 7.5 minutes. So this really is not very good for Boston. They're down by 6 goals, and yet they're down a man due to the penalties against Randy Frazier. Here's Shannonchuk. Dowling, quick shot, saved by Elliott. Controlled by Blanchard. Philadelphia not taking any chances defensively. Sometimes in this situation, you'll want to double the man with the ball, but in this case, leading 6 goals, 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. There really is no reason to take chances. Here's Marechek against Blanchard. You can see Gary Gait, number 22, playing center field there in case anyone gets beat. This is Marechek. Does a nice job forcing Blanchard down the side for a poor angle shot. And the shot clock winds down to 0 now. Philadelphia will control. We've got a timeout called now by Philadelphia head coach Tony Resch. 10-4, Philadelphia leading. It's been all Gary Gait and his teammates from the city of brotherly love. We'll take a look at the second half success of the Boston Blazers, and they'll need some of that. Their first half scoring 5 goals, second half scoring 8. Their opponents score 6 in the first half and yet only 4 in the second half, and they will need that kind of turnaround if they're going to get back in this game. They're down by 6 goals, but worse than that, they're down a man now for 6 minutes and 55 seconds. Tony Resch calling that last time out to set up the power play. This is Philadelphia in their road gray uniforms. Marechek to Finneran. Finneran, here's Gait. Collapsing defense by Boston. Nice job by Cataldo and Stevens. Here's Marechek, the master of deception. Near side for Finneran. Shot clock down to 5 seconds. Marechek winds it up, and Vona makes a nice save, and Boston now gets the ball up the floor quickly. Shannonchuk pass in front for Dowling. Deflected. Dowling controls the rebound. Dowling in front. Elliott stumbling with the rebound, and we've got a violation. We're going to have a call against Philadelphia. Let's take a listen now to Roy Condon making the call. Actually, it's going to be a slash against Finneran. There's Roy Condon, made the slash call. 2:59 to go here in the second quarter, 10-4. Teams are at even strength. 4 on 4 right now for the next 2 minutes. This is Rodney Tapp. And Tapp, we've got a moving pick. Moving pick called against Boston. Volker getting the ball up the floor quickly to Miller. Miller's got a lot of quickness. He can go right-handed or left. That's what makes him so different. Oh, Miller in front. Loose ball on the far side. We're going to have a violation against Boston. A loose ball push. 10-4 second quarter. This is Chris Bates. Scored earlier in the first quarter. Shannonchuk doing yeoman's like work on the loose ball. Up ahead, streaking out of the box. He had Blanchard. And we're going to have another loose ball push. So Philadelphia hustling, generating a couple technical fouls.
All right, here we go.
Ron Frazier attempting to stay positive. Generally unflappable. Frazier, a Hall of Famer in his own right, played his collegiate ball at Syracuse. Here's Blanchard, and we've got another moving pick against Boston. That's the second time down the floor that we've had moving picks.
It's going to be a green ball. His own man pushed him in. It's a green ball.
A reversal. Roy Connon there reversing the call. His own man pushed him into the pick. Tony Resch, second season, head coach of Philadelphia. Really taking the crowd out of the game here tonight with this early lead. That was one of the keys for the Wings. This is Carmine to Blanchard. Blanchard, predominantly a left-handed player, and Martin rides Blanchard into the boards. Flynn peppering the shoulders of Blanchard. Steve Buckley is with Marty O'Neill. Steve?
Marty, you were pretty upset coming out of the game. Was that because of the score or because you were taken out?
Because of the score. I mean, if I'm not doing the job in there, then by all means, I want Brian to go in there and do well. But I just think that we're caught flat-footed. We took lightly who our opponent was tonight, and hopefully we can kill his penalty off, and then we'll get back in the second half. I have a good feeling about this one, that we can get back in this game.
Okay, Philadelphia on a 3-on-1. Flynn robbed from close range. Vona has been consistent for Boston in relief of O'Neill. Here's Ryan with the dreadlocks. Ryan, and he scores! Ryan! Tom Ryan, a crowd favorite here in Boston, electrifying the crowd of nearly 7,000. Nice bull dodge, switching back to his right hand and beating Elliott again between the legs. That's the second goal we've seen this evening between the legs. And you can feel the crowd now getting back into it. Boston chipping away at this Philadelphia lead. There's a crazed young Mill fan.
We released that guy out of the box. There's time on the clock. What number? 11? 11.
You can hear Roy Condon now. The referees are putting Kevin Finneran back in the box. There's no release. There's 21 seconds left. Steve Buckley is standing by with Ryan, who scored that last goal.
First pro game, you had to be a little nervous coming out here tonight. That takes care of the nervousness?
Yeah. I was pretty relaxed coming into the game. And first couple hits, you get into it pretty quick.
Volker! Volker off the faceoff scores his first goal of the season. Brian Volker out of Johns Hopkins, really known for his defensive prowess. He's got great speed, though, and you can see he gains an advantage on Cataldo off that faceoff and beats Vona. Vona is an attacking goaltender. He really steps out to play the shooter, and that time Volker pummeled to the turf by Cataldo, but he will be pummeled every time if he can exchange that for a goal. Philadelphia 11, Boston 5 here. 55 seconds until halftime. A big goal. You could sense the crowd starting to get back into this game. Boston down by 7. They cut it to 5, and now Philadelphia strikes back. Here's Rodney Tapp inside. Nice defense by Gary Martin. Just sticking to Dowling like glue, and he's decked into the boards by Adele. Backhand feed in front. But that play started with some outstanding defense by Gary Martin. 20 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Shot clock now at 19, so Philadelphia will look for the last shot. Janenschuk with a steal, and he just heaves it the length of the floor. Remember, Boston is still paying for Randy Frazier's foul. We've got 3 seconds to go in the second quarter, and that'll do it here at the Boston Garden. First half action. It's been all Philadelphia, but don't go away. Here's Christy with Scott Gabrielson.
Very much. We are down here with the captain of the Philadelphia Wings, Scott Gabrielson. First of all, Scott, you're off to a great start in the first half, up by 6 goals.
Yeah, we knew we had to come out on fire. I mean, we like to come out and set the tone as much as we can. I don't think that really we've been getting the credit that we deserve throughout the league right now. I mean, remember, we're the defending champs. I think we're setting the standard right now, and we came out to prove that. Everybody's focused on Buffalo and Boston, and right now we're really playing Philadelphia Wings across and showing that we're defending champs.
Are you surprised at the physicalness of this game so far?
Not at all. I knew it was going to be a tough game. Boston's a hell of a team, and they're physical, and we come out just as physical, ready to play hard.
All right, thank you very much, the captain of the Philadelphia Wings, Scott Gabrielson, who will see him more in the second half. Right now, we'd like to show you a little bit about trapping the ball. It can be illegal. We show you that with Leif Elsmo in a segment we call Rules and Tools here on Lacrosse on ESPN2.
Time for the Rules and Tools of the Mill. Brought to you by Old Spice High Endurance Deodorant and alcohol-free sensitive aftershave. The rules in the league don't allow you to artificially help control the ball. Now, you'll see it 2 different ways primarily, and both are called withholding the ball from play. One is thumbing the ball. You can't put your thumb on the ball and hold it in the pocket. The other is pulling it to your chest. When you get into heavy traffic, a lot of players will pull it in close, use their body to control possession. Both are withholding the ball from play. Both are illegal.
I know it sounds crazy, but yeah.
Boston has given up 11 goals. That's their average for the entire game. And yet Philadelphia, behind the scoring of Gary Gait, has 4 goals. Take a look at the scoring right there, 11-5. Shots on goal, Boston with an advantage, but quality shots, Philadelphia has a significant advantage. Saves, Elliott has been tremendous. Take a look at the shot chart. This is the Philadelphia Wings, the keys, the red and the pink zone. 12 shots from that red zone, yielding 4 goals. That is truly exceptional for the Wings. Here the Blazers, again, 13 shots and 4 goals also. Not many outside shots by the Blazers. And we'll be back with third quarter action here from the Boston Garden with the score. Philadelphia 11, Boston 5. Coming back at you. Up by 6 goals. Tony Resch, head coach in his second year. And there are the Blazers, 4-0. They're off to their best start, but not tonight. It's been all Philadelphia and Gary Gait. Take a look at the championship banners of the Celtics and the Bruins. The Blazers really believe that this is their year to win the championship, but Philadelphia, the defending champs, have had a lot to say about that. And here's Gary Gait.
For the Blazers, number 44.
Philadelphia now on a power play for the next 3 minutes. We had a little tussling late in the second quarter. Randy Frazier for Boston had 2 5-minute fouls, and there's Maricek behind the back. We saw him score earlier, and he is devastating with that behind the back. Maricek, Gait behind the back. Marty O'Neill is back in the goal for Boston. He was yanked midway through the second quarter. Here's Gait behind the back. Finneran, pump fake. Back to Gait. Shot wide now, controlled by Finneran. Philadelphia, their stick work is just sharp as lightning right now. There's Nostrand winding it up, blocked by the Adder defense. So patient defense by Boston now, and Philadelphia turns it over. 14 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 11-5. This is Dowling. He's got 2 goals. He has played well, but his supporting cast has not picked up the slack, and Blanchard has also played well. Between Blanchard and Dowling, that accounts for 4 of the Blazer goals.
Let me know.
Here's Blanchard now dodging on the near side. Looks in front. Let's go to Steve Buckley, who's standing by with Boston coach Ron Frazier.
Coach, why the decision to put Marty back into the game again?
Well, Marty has proven the first 4 games that he's the best goalie in the league. He had a bad start. Let's give him a shot and see what happens.
You talked to him during halftime?
Yeah, he's ready to go. I don't know what was wrong in the beginning, but he's ready to go this half, so we'll give him a look, and if we have to, we'll go back to Vanna.
Was it a chewing out or was it a talk?
No, it was a talk. He's a great goalie.
Okay, thank you. Back upstairs.
Backcourt violation against Philadelphia. They had a man-up opportunity. They're still on the power play, and when you take the ball over the mid-court stripe, you cannot bring it back, and that's on Gary Gates. Forgot to take the ball and keep it over the line. Here's Boston now. This is Tap. Dodging. Feeds up top for Blanchard. He's got a pair of goals. He's hounded nicely by Gabrielson, and Philadelphia looks to run and gun. They've got a 2-on-2. Gate and McAvoy. 3-on-2 right here. Here's Gate. He'll wind it up. Wide. Marty O'Neill.
1 minute left on the penalty.
And we're going to have a whistle. Cataldo, the strong defensive specialist for Boston, dragged down Gary Gate. There's Ron Frazier.
Your zone!
Listen to him. Let's lay out a while and watch the Philadelphia power play. Gate with the outside shot. O'Neill, who was yanked earlier, makes the crucial first save in the second half. He needs some confidence, and I think that shot by Gate might bolster it a bit. Here's Blanchard to Tap. This is Rodney Tap, 5'8", 200 pounds. Rodney Tap has the ball on the far side. That's a little hidden ball trick that Boston likes to utilize. Here's Tap. Shot clock now down to 3 seconds. He's got to shoot. And Boston will just turn it over. They're still down a man, so that's really not a bad play. Tony Resch is fuming. He wants to delay a game call against Tap. Tap threw the ball out of bounds. The call was not made. 8 seconds left on the foul here, and the teams will be at even strength. Here's Gate to Maricek. Tom Maricek with the goal. Tom Maricek, second goal of the game. O'Neill looking like he did in the first quarter. Take a look at the accuracy by Tom Maricek. Near side, pegs the corner. We'll be back after these messages with the score. Philadelphia 12, Boston 5 from historic Boston Garden.
We're back at the Boston Garden where the Philadelphia Wings are leading 12-5 now. G.T. Corrigan, the assistant coach for the Wings. G.T., I can't help but notice this bench gets really riled up at some point. Do you feel like you're not getting the respect that your World Championship status makes you deserve?
I think that's a true statement, Christy. I mean, we won the thing last year. We played very well this year. We lost one game in Buffalo. We won our last 3 straight, and we're playing well now. So we feel that way, but it actually serves as a motivator for our players to play even harder. So it's a net positive for us, but we'd like to get a little bit more respect than we do.
Do you think it lands you in the penalty box more than you'd like?
I hope not. We're trying to stay out of that penalty box.
All right, thank you very much. Assistant coach G.T. Corrigan for the Philadelphia Wings. Quinn?
Bates snuffed by O'Neill. And Boston now looks to chip away at the 7-goal deficit. Here's Donovan, the left-hander, streaking in alone. Deflected in front. Nice hustle on that play by Dowling. And this is Tap. Back up top to Carmine, the playmaker. A lot of quickness. Feed inside to Dowling. And Miller for Philadelphia deflects the ball off Dowling's stick. So Philadelphia now doing a nice job defensively to go along with this man, Gary Gate. 4 goals, and he's double teamed. That's going to be a loose ball hold against Boston.
Loose ball push, Philadelphia ball.
Loose ball push, 10:30 to go here in the third quarter. That penalty, that double major penalty by Randy Frazier led to 5 Philadelphia goals. Here's Gate over the shoulder, and he loses his headgear. Take a look at Gary Gate. Steve Buckley is standing by with Peter Schmitz.
Peter, Boston veteran, you're missing this game. You hurt the ankle last week. In Buffalo, you just had a little talk with Walter Cataldo, the captain here. What'd you say?
I told them I thought we had to get a little more physical, and this crowd wasn't going to get into the game. I think they're taking it to us in the ground balls, and it's all in essence. They're taking us out of our game plan.
You want to just jump out there yourself right now?
Well, yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, thank you.
Peter Schmitz, definitely the emotional leader of this Boston Blazers squad, and you've got to wonder if his absence in the lineup psychologically hurt the Blazers. Here's Belt in front. Elliott, steady as a rock, deflects the shot wide. This is Chanenchuk. Chanenchuk switching hands. There's going to be a delayed call coming up against Philadelphia. Gary Gait going to be called on the delayed call, and we've got a whistle in front. Dowling and Gait. Here's the call. Gait was covering Dowling in front of the net, and he's going to get a cross-checking foul. And this is really an exceptional opportunity for Ron Fraser's Boston Blazers to cut this deficit. 9:34 to go here in the third quarter. Gary Gait in the penalty box. The Boston Blazers in their home green uniforms now with a 5-on-4 power play. This is Tap to Carmine. Philadelphia boxing it up around their goaltender. Here's Tap behind the back down low to Adele. Sloppy passing by the Blazers. 12 seconds left on the 30-second shot clock. Look for Carmine to wind it up. Here's Blanchard, and he scores! Charlie Blanchard with the power play goal. 12-6, and Elliott, he's fuming as these fans trying to get emotionally charged here. Watch it again. Blanchard with his third goal. Nice accuracy. Nothing the goaltender can do there. Blanchard is a supreme finisher. Pinpoint shot. 12-6. This is the defensive unit for Boston. Nice job on the faceoff that time by Calmo and Cataldo. Let's see if Boston can tie back-to-back goals together. This is Dowling.
Assisted by number 45, Tom.
Played last year for the Detroit Turbos. Feeds inside for Felt. Miscommunication.
Blanchard from Carmine.
Paul O'Grady scrapping for Philadelphia.
6.
Here's Volker, and we're going to have a 30-second shot violation against Boston. So nice job by Philadelphia on that last defensive stance. When we come back, we'll be halfway through the third quarter here at Boston, 12-6.
Join yourself. You can see more major indoor lacrosse league action on the Deuce ESPN2 next Sunday at 10 o'clock. These same Philadelphia Wings will take on the New York Saints at home.
Quint Kesnick here with Steve Buckley and Christy Lee. 12-6, Philadelphia looking like a defending champion should. This is Chris Flynn. Done a nice job splitting the face-off duties with Scott Gabrielson. Here's Gary Martin. Motion offense right now being employed by Philadelphia. Nostrand likes to wind it up and does. And Boston now looks to cut into the Philadelphia lead. This is Blanchard. He's got a hat trick. He's been one of the offensive stars for Boston. He and Dowling have 5 out of the 6 Blazer goals.
Donovan.
Flynn dislodging the ball from Donovan, and Flynn is just pummeled into the boards. That's going to be a loose ball push. Flynn showing the toughness that made him an all-Ivy League selection as a running back. Actually, he had a tryout with the New England Patriots. You can see what kind of athlete Chris Flynn is. Here's McAvoy out of Villanova, up top for Denikin. Nice give and go, McAvoy, stuffed by O'Neal. Nice little give and go that time by Philadelphia. McAvoy and Denikin working in tandem. This is Boston. Little two-man play. Rodney Tap streaking and goal! Fine pick and roll play. Rodney Tap. Watch it again. Watch the pick here. Tap 38, and he rolls towards the net. That is textbook right there. That is the Canadian-style lacrosse. Rodney Tapp finishing in there, pulling the Boston Blazers within 5 goals. That was a textbook example, and a young player is out watching this game. That's exactly how you want to do that pick and roll play. Tapp will have a reface.
Hey guys, come on.
Talmo and Gabrielson. Talmo is a physical specimen, 6 foot, 200 pounds, pure muscle. Fatigue is not a word in his vocabulary. Here's Rogers, firing from the outside.
Blazer goals.
Gates bearing in, Gary Gates.
Assisted by number 12, Bill.
Then inside, Gabrielson on the loose ball. Back to Rogers. Steve Buckley is standing by with Rodney Tapp. Steve.
Okay, you gotta be, your eyes had to light up when you saw that right side of the net.
Oh yeah, it's wide open. Dallas will give you something and try and take it away. You know, sometimes you give a little hesitation, you'll think you're gonna fake and just let it go. He's my goalie on my team in British Columbia, so.
Do you know the guy?
Yeah, I shoot on him all the time.
There you go.
Excellent insight by Rodney Tapp. What he was talking about is Elliott likes to bait shooters to shoot to a certain part of the net, and then he'll take that section away. And Tapp, knowing that, didn't fall for the trick. Here's Boston! Blanchard with his 4th goal off the rebound, and Boston's hustle is paying off. The Blazers are winning the ground ball battle, and the fans here at the Garden are starting to feel it. 12-8. Watch it again. Blanchard dodging left-handed, and Elliott now will just be barraged. That Blanchard again off the pipe. Here's Carmian, and he finishes. Tom Carmian tying the Boston Blazers all-time scoring record with 54 goals. The Blazers looking to push it in transition, but Glenn Stevens decides to pull it out and turns it over. Right now, Boston is pulling back into this game because of their hustle and their intensity. They have not let down. Philadelphia started to coast with this lead. They better watch it. Here's Flynn. Nice defense by Francis. Todd Francis standing toe-to-toe with Flynn, forcing the weak shot. Here's Boston. They've got a 4-on-3. Here's Tapp. Can't control the feed from Chanenchuk. Here's Dowling. Behind the net, 2 goals, feed in front. Controlled by Gary Martin. So Boston definitely playing with some life, but that will hurt them. Bill Adell is going to be whistled for a holding violation. This has been typical of Boston tonight. Every time they show some life, there's been a penalty. Listen to Roy Condon.
You gotta look over there, David.
Roy Condon and his crew doing a fine job here, keeping things under control. Boston, averaging only 10 penalty minutes per game, has really hurt themselves. 12-8. 4:33 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Philadelphia on another power play. Some tenacious defense employed by Walt Cataldo yields a turnover. Nice job again by Boston. Let's see if they try to kill 137 of this penalty or if they try to penetrate. This is Blanchard. He has been the offensive star. Feed inside for Dowling. Dowling controls. He's a strong left-hander. He doesn't look very big, but he's one of the stronger players in the league. Here he is rolling on near side, and he is peppered to the turf by a pair of Philadelphia players. And we've got some fisticuffs on the near side behind the play. The referee jumping in as play continues. It was Bates and Blanchard battling, but the referee was right there to separate them. So here's Philadelphia. 1 minute to go on the penalty. Gate behind the back, blocked in front by Sebastian. Nifty stick work. Dave Donovan split the defense, tried to go coast to coast. The loose ball in the corner. Here comes a big hit. Felt had Gates in his sight, but Gary sensed it at the last second. Nice over-the-head check. Philadelphia has one more chance here to make some penetration with 30 seconds to go on the power play. This is Nostrand with the yellow visor. the gate. Boston sitting back in their box defense. Philadelphia using the house formation. Gary Gait at the top, down low to Denikin, off the pipe. Controlled by Janenchuk. Nifty spin move by Janenchuk. And we're at even strength. Adele strolling out of the penalty box. And now look for Boston to work the ball between Carmine, Blanchard, and Dowling. That's their three. That's the trio. Here's Carmine. Maricek, nice defense in front. The Blanchard underhand shot. Elliott was there at the last second. That shot almost caught him off guard. This is Volker. Volker's got some good wheels. 2-on-1. If he can give it up, he does. This is Flynn. Elliott. Kick, save, and a beaut. That was a big one. Boston down by 4. Elliott makes, O'Neal, makes perhaps his biggest save of the third quarter. Philadelphia will not let up, however, and this is Flynn. Some substitutions now. This is the point of the game when fatigue becomes a factor. We've got 1:43 left here in the third quarter. Here's Rogers. Dishes off to Denikin. Denikin. Backhand feed to Bates. Bates is decapitated in front of the goal. No whistle, however, and Boston looks to run and gun. Near side, Janenchuk. Janenchuk, captain John Hopkins. Played for 3 national titles. Here he is looking for someone open in front of the net. Flips to Blanchard, and we've got a whistle. Bates has lost his helmet again. And let's go to break. 1:05 left here in the third quarter. It's Philadelphia 12, Boston 8. Don't go away. Boston is starting to get some momentum. Tom Carmine tied the Blazer career goals record with 54. He's got such quick feet, outstanding playmaker and ball handler, and he plays that middle position on the power play. Really a catalyst for the Boston Blazers and their success.
Power is the official uniform supplier, Boston Blazers, and the
12-8. Boston attempting to get this fan base behind them. Take a look at Tony Resch. Fu Manchu mustache. Very poised. The youngest coach in the league. We've got a whistle. We've got a loose ball on the floor. And we're set to start things now. 1:03 left to go here in the third quarter.
Blazer ball.
Charlie Blanchard looking for his left hand. Underhand shot. I think he had Elliott beat at that time. A little screen action in front of the net. Janenchuk. He's got Dowling in front. Janenchuk all alone. Nice save by Elliott. Playing his angles precisely. Flynn is open in front. This is Flynn. 1-on-1 with Blanchard. Missed the net. 31 seconds to go. Miller is tied up on the near side, double teaming. Nice hustle by Adele and Sebastian. But McAvoy with some superior stick work and quickness frees it up for Philadelphia. But Billy Miller is going to be whistled for an elbowing foul. He better watch it. He might get another one here if he keeps mouthing off to the officials. Watch it again. The foul will occur when the ball drops. So watch the retaliation. Miller in frustration. You'll see it afterwards. Okay, watch the frustration foul right here. Here it comes. Boom. And they got him for that. He didn't really get him in the back of the head as good as he probably wanted to. But the intent was there. No doubt about that. And so Miller will be in the box for 2 minutes. We've got 17 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
2 minutes, Miller, cross-checking.
An exceptional opportunity for the Blazers to pull within 3. 7 seconds to go. Tap winds it up. Elliott gets a piece. And time's going to run out here in the third quarter. But don't go away because the Boston Blazers are getting hot at the Boston Garden. It's 12-8. We'll be back. Check out this save. This is Janenchuk And Elliott holds his ground and then slides across the cage nicely, right there with the body movement. As a goaltender in this league, your stick will only get you so far. You've got to slide your body, move your feet, and Elliott has been sharp tonight. The third period was Boston's best. They outscored Philadelphia 3-1 in that third stanza. And take a look at Elliott. You can see the intense concentration in his eyes. He's not about to let up.
Fourth quarter
shots even, loose balls, a little favoritism towards Philadelphia. Face-offs about even also. Here's Martin for Philadelphia. You can't sit on a 4-goal lead, not in this league. Boston has too much explosive firepower on offense with Dowling, Blanchard, and the rest of the crew to really sit on a 4-goal lead. This is Gary Gait, Mr. Everything for Philadelphia. Far side to Maricek. And Maricek is going to be doubled up against the boards. Denikin, though, desperation shot there to reset the 30-second shot clock. Turns the ball over. 1 minute left to go on the penalty. Billy Miller for Philadelphia with an elbowing call. This is Chanenchuk. Take a look at the score by period. Obviously, the third quarter was Boston's best. And if they can continue that, they've got a shot in this game. This is Chanenchuk. Predominantly a feeder, but Chanenchuk will let it go. Elliott, big save. Controlled by the quick McAvoy up the floor. Sloppy passing to Govett. And Boston now will reset with 23 seconds to go on the power play. Carmine's the quarterback. He's got the quickness. He's up top. Chanenchuk's predominantly a feeder. Look for Dowling down low in the left-hander position to do most of the damage. There he is right there with the ball. Backside to Chanenchuk. They're giving Chanenchuk the shot, but he's not taking it. Here's Carmine. Blanchard. Oh, Elliott with another stellar save. Dowling. Elliott's hot rebound. Blocked by McAvoy, who flew in front of Elliott. Oh! But the quick strike ability of Dowling nets Boston the goal, 12-9. Dowling with the hat trick. Watch it again. Poor communication defensively for Philadelphia. You cannot let Ted Dowling control the ball in that near pipe. He loves that inside pipe. That's his third goal. 12-9, 13 minutes left. We've got plenty of time. And if you know this Boston Blazers squad, you know they don't quit. And the fourth quarter is historically their best quarter. Philadelphia doing a nice job on the face-offs. Credit Gabrielson and Flynn. Here's Govett. Near side to Gary Gait. Oh! Gait. One too many fakes. Steve Buckley standing by with Dowling. Steve.
You said last week when Smith was hurt it was like an injury to you, but yet you seem to recover from your injury. You're out there scoring goals right now.
Yeah, just come back and work your hardest, and hopefully the ball go in the net. That's what it's doing for us right now, is we're coming back. Hopefully we're 3 goals down right now, and hopefully we can get 4 and win it by 1. Okay.
That's an astute comment by Dowling. You can see the intensity level has not dropped off for Boston. They're down by 3. Gait, uncharacteristically missing that one-on-one. Here's Cataldo. They do not have the numbers game. Look for Cataldo to pull this out. He's got some help on the far side. That's Dowling. Dowling with back-to-back goals, and the crowd is erupting. That's the Dowling dash. He sneaks in off the bench. You can see him at the top of your screen. And he fills that gap so nicely, and he capitalizes. Elliott guessing low on that shot. That's the first shot, really, that Dowling lowered his stick and pulled it up to the top portions of the net. Ted Dowling, 4 goals, 19 on the season in 5 games. If he continues this, he's looking at MVP honors for the entire season. 12-10, 11:56 to go. We're at the Boston Garden. My name is Quint Kesnick. I'm joined by Christy Lee and Steve Buckley. Early on, Philadelphia led by as much as 12-5. Boston has scored 4 goals in a row. This is Philadelphia's Kevin Finneran being peppered by Ryan. We've got some off-the-ball action in front. Cataldo and Denikin You can really feel the emotion now. Boston thinks they have a chance. Let's go down to Christy Lee. Christy.
We're with Gary Martin. Gary, let's talk a little bit about defense. You got stung right there by the Dowling dash. Did you guys talk about that?
We talked about it all week. It's exactly what John Tavares does from Buffalo. We were able to contain it the first half, but we got to look to the bench. Basically, you know, they're doing it and they're executing it and they're making the goals.
I'm sorry, and how do you counteract that?
You just got to look to the bench. I mean, Tommy Maricek was out there. You just got to turn your head to the bench. We were there. We're just not, you know, as I said, we're not executing.
All right, thank you very much, Gary Martin. Clint?
Mental mistakes. This Philadelphia team paid for it that time. Maricek not getting back on defense. Here's Denikin. We've got matching penalties off of that loose ball. We got two-minute roughing penalties. One on Todd Francis for Boston, one on Bill Miller. So they nullify each other. We're at 4-on-4, and this kind of helps Boston. It really opens up the court, gives them more space to operate. 5 unanswered goals here by the Blazers. Carmine. Philadelphia's got a 2-on-2. This is Flynn and Govett. Flynn, he's got a trailer. Gary Gates open in the middle. There he is. And he finishes. Gary Gates from Flynn. 3-on-2. Boston did not get back into the defensive end as quickly as they should. Gary Gates filling the lane on a 3-on-2. 13-10 here at the Boston Garden. Gary Gates got 5 goals, but Boston's only down by 3. We'll be back. Boston staring at a 3-goal deficit here, 8:25 left. Philadelphia has played a smart game. Gary Gates has been the star with 5 goals. My name is Quinn Kesnick. I'm joined by Christy Lee and Steve Buckley. The 2 best teams in the league doing battle. This is Nostrand. Nostrand. The lefty. He'll wind it up and does. O'Neal holding his ground. Took that one in the chest. One of his easier saves of the night. If you just joined us earlier, O'Neal was yanked in the first quarter and then put back in to start the second half. Elliott doing a nice job on that deflection. Here's Martin. He does not have the numbers game, and he'll pull it out to Rogers. Here's the Gate line. This is Gates, Govett, Maricek, Gabrielson, and Rogers. Look for Maricek and Gate to do the damage. And here's Maricek. Wicked 360 shot behind the back. Gabrielson throwing his body around. Nice job by Gabrielson to come up with that loose ball in front to Maricek. O'Neal, he has not looked this sharp all game. This is the best he's played so far. Gabrielson, a suicide move there along the near side. But they're going to call a push.
Pushing against the Blazers.
O'Neal is not happy about that call. He says that Gabrielson dove into the crease with his own volition. Philadelphia 13, Boston 10. Philadelphia looking to give Boston their first loss. And this is Gate. That's number 6 for Gary Gate. He is on fire. Gary Gate with his 6th goal. Philadelphia 14, Boston 10. Marty O'Neal, nothing he could do about that. Ron Fraser, watch it again. This is his superior strength. You see him leaning in, finishing with some accuracy. Gary Gate, he's got it all. He's got the size, he's got the strength, he's got the stick work, he's got the speed. And I spoke to him before the game. He has a personal trainer this year, and he says he's in the finest condition that he's ever been in, and it shows.
Philadelphia goal scored by number 22.
Here's McAvoy, whirling Dervish, a little 360 there to avoid that check.
Unassisted Gate, his 6th goal tonight.
So every time Boston cuts into this Philadelphia lead, the Wings counterattack, and it's been all Gary Gate, 6 goals. Here's Boston. They're in need of a goal. 6:19 to go here. You figure they need about a goal every minute and 15, every minute and 30 seconds to tie it up. It can be done. They have the weapons. This is Blanchard. He's got a hat trick to Chanachuk. Out front to Ryan. Flip to Chanachuk. Look for the shot. Oh, nice save by Elliott. Denikin playing without a helmet on in front. This game has not been short of stick work in front of the net. Listen to Roy Condon.
Timeout.
We're going to go to break here with 5:56 left in the fourth quarter. Don't go away. It's 14-10, but you can't count the Blazers out. Gate, he plays for the Rochester Nighthawks. Gary Gate, he's on pace. 22 goals. You might get 40 this year. Nostrand with 11, Denikin with 8, and Maricek with 11. They've really picked up the slack.
Here we go, fellas.
We're ready to face it off here in the fourth quarter. The difference in this game has been a penalty. Randy Frazier ejected in the second quarter for 2 5-minute majors. Philadelphia went on to score 5 goals during that 10-minute period, and that basically is the difference. Philadelphia got up early, Boston chipped away at the lead, and then the penalty really hurt them. Here's Gate tying up Carmine along the near boards. And Gate, some people in the league claim that Gate gets all the calls, as Michael Jordan for the Bulls used to get the calls, but he's a hustler and he makes those calls.
Here it comes. Now watch.
The dapper G.T. Corrigan, assistant coach for Philadelphia. Gate pummeling O'Neal. Donovan's got Dowling. There he is. Oh, what a save by Elliott. That was his best save of the night, no doubt. Here's Carmine, underhanded, another save by Elliott. And we'll have an interference call by Donovan in front. A little frustration by the Blazers. Elliott with 2 stellar stuffs. Dowling first and Carmine. You stop those 2 guys, you will beat these Boston Blazers. Now look for Philadelphia to kill some time. We've got 3 minutes to go. They're up by 4. They're going to use the full 30. It's important for them to get back on defense after they turn it over, and they don't. Billy Miller, and you can see the jubilant Wings players swarming Miller. O'Neal with a sigh. Watch it again. Watch the accuracy. Right-handed shot. That might have caught the goalie O'Neal. Not ready. You seldom see players shoot that far from the outside on the run like that, but Miller, with his 4th goal this season, gives Philadelphia a 5-goal lead. This is Volker to McAvoy. 2:38 to go. Philadelphia has shown resiliency tonight. They jumped all over the Boston Blazers. They weathered all the Blazer flurries, and they look like a defending champion should. Here's Nostrand winding it up. Nostrand has yet to score tonight. Came into the game with 11 goals. They haven't needed him. Gary Gates done the damage with 6 goals. Here's Blanchard. He's got a hat trick. Far side to Dowling. 9 different wings have scored tonight, showing their balance. We've got some fisticuffs on the far side. Dowling and Volker. Volker, a vicious defenseman, and he's not afraid to scrap with anyone. 1:57 left. And some of the crowd here sensing that this one is over. Boston looking at a 5-goal deficit. Here's Govett. Nice pick by Gary Gate. Govett can't penetrate back to Gate. Look from the wind it up with 8 left on the shot clock. Ball dislodged by Donovan, picked up by Talmo. And we've got a delayed whistle coming up. O'Neal and Govett might go. 2 Canadian-born players, and O'Neal, you sense the frustration. You can sense the frustration on behalf of Philadelphia goalie, of Boston goalie. We'll be back with the final 1:33 of the fourth quarter. 1:30 to go here. Philadelphia up by 5. Gate and Govett working a 2-man play. This is Govett. Nice save by O'Neal. Govett and Gate love that play. Is a long pass up the floor, picked off by Gate. Philadelphia now on a 3-on-2. Maricek with a fake near side. Govett couldn't capitalize on the nice pass from Maricek. This is Carmine. Carmine at an intense angle. We've got a whistle. The referees are going to clear some debris that was tossed onto the floor. 56 seconds left. Boston will suffer their first defeat of the season. Philadelphia will improve to 4-1. Both teams actually will be 4-1. Philadelphia jumped all over the Boston Blazers tonight. Really a surprise first quarter. They came out and scored 6 goals. O'Neal was yanked. And they haven't been touched. The closest Boston chipped away at that lead with 2 goals. This is Villadell. Elliott again with the save. And you can see on that shot the way Elliott likes to bait the shooter and then at the last second take it away. Gary Gait, 38 seconds to go. He's got 6 goals. Dishes near side to Martin. Martin in front, Gabrielson up. And the shot clock is off. So Philadelphia does not have to shoot the ball, and Boston seems content to take this defeat to the locker room. 15. This is Martin. Philadelphia's got to be happy with the way they played tonight. Their coach, Tony Resch, came into this hostile environment, and to leave with a 5-goal victory margin is quite impressive. And that'll do it. Philadelphia 15, Boston 10, and the Wings congratulating their goalie, Dallas Elliott. Gary Gait with 6 goals. Elliott with some outstanding goaltending. We'll be back with some post-game festivities after this message.